Hello and welcome all to the third podcast. If you haven't subscribed, please do, because it motivates us to carry on our research for you. Chandrayan-3 mission. What went wrong with the Chandrayan-2? Launched on 22nd July 2019, the Chandrayan-2 mission's lander and rover were supposed to make a soft landing on the moon on 7th September. However, according to ISRO chairman Somnath, 3 mistakes led to their crash on the lunar surface. What went wrong? Slated to be launched from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota on 14th July, the Chandrayan-3 is India's third lunar mission and second attempt to make a soft landing on the moon. The mission is expected to reach the lunar orbit a month after its launch, and its lander and rover are likely to land on the lunar surface on 23rd August. The Chandrayan-3's launch has come almost 4 years after the partial failure of the Chandrayan-2 sent to space on 22nd July 2019, whose lander, Vikram, and rover, Pragyan, crashed on the moon's surface during the early hours of 7th September. What happened on the day of landing of Vikram? The Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, lost contact with Vikram on the day of landing when it was barely 335 meters, 0.335 kilometer, from the surface of the moon. The initial data from the space agency's telemetry tracking and command center suggested that the failure occurred in the fine braking phase in the final part of Vikram's journey, an altitude of 5 kilometers to 400 meters, which kicked in when the lander was 5 kilometers from the lunar surface. The giant screens installed at the center showed that the green line, which represented the lander, began deviating from the time its altitude was just above 2 kilometers, and continued to deviate before stopping at a point that was clearly below 1 kilometer altitude and somewhere near or below 500 meters. At that time, the module was still moving with a vertical velocity of 59 meters per sec, or 212 kilometers per hour, and a horizontal velocity of 48.1 meters per second, or 173 kilometers per hour. The lander was at that point around 1.09 kilometer from its designated landing spot on the moon. According to the plan, Vikram was supposed to lose most of its velocity by the time it was 400 m from the lunar surface, and should have been hovering above the intended landing site set to make a soft vertical descent at walking pace. But due to its high velocity, it crashed on the moon's surface. Why did the Chandrayan-2's lander fail to soft land on the moon? Speaking to the media on Monday, 10th June, ISRO chairman S. Somnath pointed out 3 mistakes that led to the hard landing of Vikram. The primary issues were: 1. We had 5 engines, which were used to give the reduction of the velocity, which is called the retardation. These engines developed higher thrust than what was expected, Somnath told the reporters, according to a PTI report. He explained that the extra thrust led to the accumulation of errors, which, in turn, compromised the stability of the lander during the camera coasting phase for the soft landing. This is where the second problem occurred. All the errors got accumulated, which was on the higher side than what we had expected. The craft had to make very fast turns. When it started to turn very fast, its ability to turn was limited by the software because we never expected such high rates to come, Somnath added. The third problem emerged when the lander, despite being close to the surface, increased its velocity as the landing site was quite far away. Somnath said this partly happened because the landing spot was quite a small patch of 500 meter x 500 meter. In a nutshell, the problem in Chandrayan-2 was that the ability to handle parameter dispersion was very limited, said by chairman. Please do comment the next topic you want us to make a podcast. Take care. God bless you all.